Hi everyone, welcome back to Elite Transformations. I hope you're well. We hope you've had a good week or have just flicked on and you're just watching episode 11. It's good. Rich, peak of the week.
My peak of the week is at 192. We have this really cool thing called Bro Yoga.
Oh.
It's a stretch class inspired by yoga.
For the bros.
Not just for men.
Oh.
But that's really good fun. You've just got a bunch of mainly blokes in there, just really stiff and just having a giggle and trying to lift the leg up with the strap round and just being. But it's very effective. It's not totally silly, but it's just good fun.
What did you love? What did it make you feel?
I was incredibly surprised at the performance of my friend who was next to me. I was surprised when I turned around and he actually did get his butt right up in the air.
Wow. Okay, you've a flexy friend.
Yeah,
cool.
Lots of stiff but competitive sort of personalities in there, and then getting crossed up like Twister and
pretzel.
Yeah,
nice.
It's really good fun,
and
it is very effective as well.
That's
so
good.
it's hit the market. Or the target market, bang on the head.
That's nice.
I'm really loving it.
I love that.
What's your peak of the week?
We got to bring in the handstands again for another week in a row. But basically, I'm getting like a balance and then like into a straddle, into a handstand kind of hold. So that's been really exciting. It happened today. So that's been really fun.
The video you showed me was excellent.
Thank you.
It's neat, super neat.
It's very neat. So that's exciting for me. This week. So found the joy was leads directly.
Finding the joy.
Finding the joy.
You
So I did find the joy in being upside down and nearly balancing. I got a second or two.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. And you found the joy being in good company.
Of having my mate's butt in my head.
Yeah, and being bent into a pretzel shape. So that's real
having
nice.
a leg and a strap in the air trying to balance.
So, yeah, when we're thinking about finding the joy, I really kind of want to dial into exercise when we think about finding the joy. We talk a lot about celebrating our bodies, don't we? We talk a lot about finding the joy in terms of when we think about finding joy in things, it might be like Netflix or other things, chocolate bar,
drinking.
But really what we're looking at is finding the joy within movement and within our bodies and kind of, how do we find the joy in doing movement or doing exercise that we like? So like if the thought of running is not for you,
in icy, frosty, dark evenings,
especially at the moment, that's not an exercise type that I want to do. So it's finding the joy. How do we celebrate our bodies? How do we in all our seasons of our life? So we got, we work with clients that are young, and then we work with clients all the way through to, some of our clients are older and going into much older seasons of their lives, and is looking at how do we celebrate their bodies, how do we adapt things, how do we adjust things, but at the same time find the joy in movement, find the joy in being able to celebrate that your body can either still move if you're at that age, or we're rehabbing something, and again it's the excitement
period.
It's like a season of I have to do this in order to get over there. It's just celebrating how can our bodies move, and I think that's super important. So if you're not injured, it's also important to celebrate that your body works. I think that's really good. If you're coaxing your way through an injury, it's important to know you're not going to be like that forever. It's a temporary period.
The thing with actually an injury rehab, a lot of them is some of the progress you can make can really be quite quick. Mm-hmm. So each week there's a new bit of progression. So really find the joy in those small little wins every single week, that little micro progression.
Yeah, and then that kind of, again, it's a sprinkle of motivation of like, oh, I felt the difference. I felt that kind of that next step of things. And the same things when we talk about understanding that sometimes a transition from a different type of exercise is important, isn't it? So
100%.
Again, another thing, so we celebrate our bodies, also give ourselves permission to change our mind. I think that's an important thing, again, when we're talking about celebration and finding the joy in movement, whatever that is. I think it's really important to give yourself permission to be like, I like this type of movement, now I don't like this type of movement. And again, it might be to do with when we're in this season again, like actually seasonally. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
more like we feel more compelled to do slower moving things, Pilates, yoga, much more
Longer walks
longer
on the weekend,
walks,
potentially.
like slower pace of things. You might feel really geared up to go for a run, and that's really cool too. It's understanding those things and what you like, and also giving yourself permission to be like, I love doing that in the summer, going out and running, for example, road running first thing in the morning. It exhilarates me. It might not be what you love doing in the winter or the autumn. So again, giving yourself permission to change your mind, giving yourself permission to be transient, and finding yourself, okay, what do I love doing? And again, giving yourself permission to experiment with variety. So
that's something that I've done personally a
Yeah.
lot. It's like I've gone through loads of different kind of sports and different exercise types.
Yeah.
Like just normal gym training, and then into Thai boxing, and then into CrossFit, a bit of running,
Yeah.
cycling, like
Yeah.
all these different things. But allowing yourself to change, to be like, actually, you know what? I'm kind of bored with that.
yeah.
And you don't have to grind through something if you're not enjoying it.
No.
Finding the joy in whatever you're doing is going to make the entire experience more pleasant and far more sustainable. And actually, yeah, giving yourself permission to change what that is.
Yeah.
Well, amazing. That's sustaining a healthy lifestyle.
And
that's
it's
what we're about.
Yeah, and it's not failure. I think when we give ourselves permission to change, there's such a connotation between it being a failure, and it's actually no, this is growth. Like I'm choosing to adapt into a different season of my life, and I'm finding something that really works for me. Like, and that's growth. That's personal growth in the sense of like we're adapting. That we can always go back to something, but I think it's super important to understand and realize that giving yourself permission to change your mind is from a growth mindset rather than it's great.
It's not restrictive. And actually, from a training point of view, from the body, to expose your body to different stimuli, different ways of training, different effects.
Stimuli.
Stimuli is the plural for stimulus,
Yes,
right?
cool. It was just fun.
Yeah, stimuli. Exposing your body to different methods of training, different resistances, etc., different variables, is really good for the body.
Yeah.
Like good for your brain to understand a different movement,
Yeah.
kind of hand-eye coordination, proprioception, etc., etc. As long as we're consistent with exercise in general or activity in general, the consistency of being active is really important for the whole lifestyle. But what you do, mix it up if you want, and seasonally.
And the same thing, give yourself that opportunity to explore different places or explore, the same thing at the gym at the moment. You guys have got a whole new timetable.
So many cool classes.
And there's so many different classes on. You talked about bro yoga. I've been attending Elevate, which is very much an upside down handstandy, prep to handstand, confidence on your hands a lot more. So it really tickles my pickle.
Coached by
Ben, who's incredible.
Pro gymnast.
It's just give yourself permission to experiment and explore and be like, oh, maybe I'll try that. Like, again, I tried a Pilates class. I love the yoga classes in there. And I wouldn't necessarily be like, I'm that kind of person. I also like to run on the treadmill. But currently I'm like, do you know what? My body fancies this. It fancies doing a bit of yoga, so I'm going to book into that and do that. So give yourself permission to say, actually, I'm feeling into my body and take that like accountability in that moment to be like, okay, that's what, I'm celebrating, I'm finding the joy. And actually today I'm going to move in this way. And that can change week to week, can change seasonally. So be loving. That's what I would say. Like that's the word that comes up. Like be loving to your body and celebrate it by allowing it to move in whichever way it wants to. So that might just be stretching. It might be everything, various other things as well. So.
And adapting to your mood or your wants and desires, what you find pleasurable and joyful is good. It's great. I mean, we advise it.
Yeah.
Don't kind of press yourself into something. Don't press yourself into a mold which you're not meant to fit into.
Yeah. If you don't love spin, you don't have to love spin. It's okay. We give you permission not to love spin. If you love goat yoga, do goat yoga.
That's something we don't have at the gym.
I feel like you should try and get goat or puppy
goats.
yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. All right. Keep those ideas coming.
Right.
Let me work on this for the new year.
Fountain of ideas. I think it's just the key point for me. I suppose, like to wrap it up. But like, I feel like the one essential thing about joy is that like it's not a luxury. Like it's a key component to
Yeah, it should be there all the time.
It should be there all the time. It's not it's essential, isn't it? Like, to feel joy. I just think we are so good at either delaying gratification. Joy also makes us feel vulnerable, doesn't it? Like, I'm enjoying this, I'm loving this, I feel passionately about it. And I think that sometimes that makes us feel vulnerable because we're allowing ourselves to be that authentic,
you're exposed, aren't you?
Version of ourselves. Yeah, vulnerability. And so I think that's that point, is joy is not a luxury, it's essential to life. And I think that giving yourself permission to live a little bit, have a little bit of fun, and try new things, find a pleasure in the process, and then and the joy in that process.
That's how we start to make it a lifestyle, and that's how we start to make this consistency aspect.
Well, and it becomes, wellness becomes a lifestyle because I enjoy these things, and again, giving yourself permission to enjoy those things, you know. And it might be the big things, it might be the little things, but yeah, joy is essential. It's not a luxury. So that concludes our podcast for today. Thank you so much for listening and or watching, or doing both. Gentle reminder that we have a really exciting opportunity in January to come and work with us. So if you fancy embarking on a new way of life and transforming yourself and your world, and again, feeling empowered and amazing in the process, then keep an eye on the website and you can sign up very shortly. And we'll see you soon.
See ya.